Lumberjacks. And welcome, Lumberjack fans. It is a gorgeous day here at Potlatch-Deltic Fields in St. Mary's as we get set for the second game of the season for your Lumberjack boys. They're hosting the Central Idaho League opponent, the Grangeville Bulldogs, here in a single header. The varsity will play first, JV will play following. And then tomorrow, there's going to be a doubleheader here at the Potlatch-Deltic Fields, where we'll have the Kellogg Wildcats coming in to play the Lumberjacks. That one is a doubleheader scheduled to begin, I believe, at 2 o'clock for the first game for that one. We got a little bit of a pregame. We'll try to get that to you as both teams are getting ready to get things going. We got about 10 minutes until the first pitch. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with a little bit of a pregame, hopefully.
Nothing comes easy. Every day, every dollar, every decision. So your finances should work just as hard as you do. With a free Ascend checking account from P1FCU, you can earn real rewards for the work you're already doing. No gimmicks, just better banking. Because around here, dividends are for the doers. Learn more at p1fcu.org/ascend.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Idaho. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, well, well. Are you in need of a reputable, experienced, and knowledgeable well drilling and pump company? Look no further than Interstate Drilling and Pump. Interstate Drilling and Pump drills new wells, deepens existing wells, installs and repairs pumps, and does well testing both for water quality and gallons per minute. Interstate Drilling and Pump has 24-plus years of experience and serves from Moscow to Rathdrum and the Silver Valley. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on their schedule today. That's Interstate Drilling and Pump, 208-245-5101. 208-245-5101, Interstate Drilling and Pump.
Tax time is here again. I know. It's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care. So you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life. Plus, they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories, like Brett on the way to his wedding when a flat tire left him stranded. The clock was ticking, his bride waiting. He made one call, and a Les Schwab service truck was there to save the day. Brett was back on the road and off to say, I do. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires, our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
Yeah, we are back here at Deltic Field, set for home opener for the Lumberjack boys. Taking a look at the Central Idaho League standings, most of the teams have played quite a few games so far. The Orofino Maniacs are 3-0 in league play. St. Mary's is, Orofino 6-0 overall. They had basically a triple header against Kellogg. They played Kellogg 3 times in 2 days, and they beat Kellogg all 3 times, 10-0, 19-9, and 12-2. They are hosting Clearwater Valley on the 8th. The Priest River Spartans are 3-0 in league play, 5-0 overall. They beat Grangeville in 3 games. I think those were all played on one day. Maybe it was 2 days. But they beat Grangeville 18-6, 16-12, and 5-1. They will host Newport tomorrow. St. Mary's is 0-1. They lost to Kendrick back on March 26th by a score of 10-0. They will be hosting Kellogg tomorrow right here at Deltic Fields in a doubleheader that starts at 2. Grangeville, they are 0-3 in league play, 1-4 overall. We did mention they lost 3 to Priest River. I forget who the win is against. They will be at Glen Ferry Wood Bat Tournament on the 10th and the 11th of this month. Kellogg is 0-3 in league play, 0-8 overall. And we mentioned they lost 3 to Orofino. And like I said, they'll be playing a doubleheader here tomorrow. A quick look at last year for the Lumberjacks. St. Mary's was 2-9 last year, 4-19 overall. Orofino was the league and district champs. They went to state. It looked like they won 1 and lost 2 at state. There's a new format kind of the state tournament, so haven't had to deal with it yet, so not quite sure how it totally works out. St. Mary's, they lost 2 seniors to graduation last year, Landon Holmes and Cody Teft. Cody Teft didn't really get to play last year because he was coming back from a shoulder injury. They returned 9 players to the roster. 4 of them, I believe, are seniors. Last year, St. Mary's batted 295 as a team. They had 77 runs on 119 hits, 30 RBIs. Or 50 RBIs. Their fielding percentage last year was .891, committed 36 errors last season. Pitching last year, St. Mary's had a 13.6 ERA as a team, had 128 walks, 87 strikeouts. The top 2 pitchers as far as ERA was concerned is Landon Holmes, who graduated with an 8 ERA. He had 14 innings pitched, 16 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 91 batters faced. Peyton Lingo was the next lowest ERA with 7. He had 13 innings pitched, 11 base on balls, 20 strikes, and 67 batters faced. The actual pitcher that seen the most pitching last year was, I think it was Russell Brousseau. On the mound to start today will be senior William Durham. So there is that. And let's go ahead and give you a look at the starting lineup defensively for the Lumberjacks. Will Durham on the mound. Santana Jensen will be behind home plate. Jordan Hammonds over at first base. Sawyer Nantel at second. Peyton Lingo at third. Daniel Jensen at shortstop. Cody Mitchell in left. Chris Brousseau in center. And Russell Brousseau in right. And I'm pretty sure that almost looks like they may have changed that up something. I'm not. Maybe not. I think I've still got the lineup properly. For the Grangeville Bulldogs, leading off for them will be Luke Stark. On deck is Colton Heitzman, and in the hole is Troy Long. I do have some stats for this year's Bulldogs. I'll try to get those here in a second. If I can find Luke Stark's batting average. Batting 100 so far in the early part of the season. He's waiting the first pitch from Durham. Looking in, gets his signals from Jensen behind home plate. The pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss on that first pitch. Strike 1. That's the first pitch thrown out here for baseball at Deltic Field. Everybody else got to play some games out here. 0-1 count to Stark. Next pitch on the way. That one's going to be wide of the plate for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stark thought about swinging at it at first and checked up on it. So it's a 1-1 count to Stark. Everybody gets reset. Durham looks in. The pitch on the way from Durham. Swing and a miss again. Strike 2 to start. So it's a 2-1 count now. Durham was a new addition this year to the Lumberjack football team. Was a great defensive, I think it was a defensive end. Didn't know he played some baseball. 2-1 or 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and he'll take the first one down swinging, then first strike out of the game for Durham. That'll bring up Colton Heitzman, the second baseman for the Bulldogs. Not seeing any stats on him in the batter's box. So this might be his first time at the plate this year. First pitch called strike. Paints that just that perfect spot in the low outside part of the corner, just in the strike zone. 0-1 count to Heitzman. On deck is Troy Long. He is the catcher. 0-1 pitch on the way from Durham. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. St. Mary's has one game under the belt. I heard that they only had about one hit against the Tigers. This is only the second game of the season. They've had a few canceled due to the weather. 0-2 pitch on the way. Swings and chases a high one. And it'll be strike 3, trying to protect the plate. So 2 up and 2 down brings up Troy Long, the catcher. On deck for the Bulldogs is Traven Sickles, the pitcher. First pitch to Long. Misses a little high and outside for ball 1. Durham looks in, gets his signals. Pitch on the way, swing, and that one's going to be fouled off. That was when we came out here. First game on this field, I had to decide where the safe zone was going to be to park my car because nobody's played here yet, so we don't know where the foul balls are going to go. I parked in the 4th row out, so hopefully that is safe. That one thankfully didn't hit nothing. But 1-1 count to Long. Next pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 2. Will Durham pitching well in the early goings. Top of the first inning, no score. Bulldogs with 2 outs and nobody on. Durham shakes his head yes to the call from Jensen. The pitch on the way. That one's going to be fouled back. Count remains 1-2. Durham sets up the pitch on the way. That one's going to be a little low, I believe. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Long as he's being patient in that batter's box, even though he's down 2 strikes. Long is a name that I remember. I think he might be a senior on this Bulldog team. So 2-2 pitch on the way. That one's going to be fouled off as well. The roster on Max Preps for Grangeville did not have the grade or what class these young men are in. I'm almost thinking that I may not have got to broadcast a game where St. Mary's played Grangeville last year because I don't recognize a lot of the names. 2-2 pitch on the way to Long. Oh, just misses inside for ball 3. Good looking pitch from Durham. Really surprised Troy was able to hold off from swinging at that one. Runs the count full. Next pitch on the way. He's got him to chase that one, and it'll be a swing and a miss for strike 3. Looked like a little bit of a curveball. And that'll be no runs, no hits, nobody left on base, no errors, 3 up and 3 down for the Bulldogs. And we'll take a quick break, then come back and give you the Bulldog defense and the top 3 batters for St. Mary's.
IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those lumberjacks.
If you want the best, you hire the best. Top Grade Roofing and Construction has over 25 years of experience and is licensed and insured. Top Grade Roofing and Construction can and will build just about anything. Need a deck? They can do it. Need siding? Yep. How about a fence? Of course. I mean, Top Grade Roofing and Construction might even build you a chicken coop if you ask. That's Top Grade Roofing and Construction. Call Vince for a free consultation at 208-269-3111. That's 208-269-3111. Top Grade Roofing and Construction.
And we are back and take a quick look at the defense for the Bulldogs. Traven Sickles on the mound for the Bulldogs, an ERA of 10.5 on the season. And let's see. Oh, I can't quite see the top of that. 3 innings pitched for Sickles. Behind home plate, of course, Troy Long, Carson Barger over at first, Colton Heitzman at second. Colton Shue will be a shortstop. Blake Early at third. In left field is Josh Whiteside, Luke Stark in center, and Jack Ike in right field. Lead off 3 for the Lumberjacks. You got Peyton Lingo, the third baseman, leading off. Santana Jensen in the number 2 slot. William Durham in that number 3 slot. Lingo steps to the plate, looking for his first pitch from Sickles. First pitch is going to hit him in the arm, and he'll get on with a hit by pitch. The Lumberjacks have their leadoff on. 1 pitch in from Sickles. It'll bring up Jensen with Durham on deck and Chris Brousseau in the hole for the Lumberjacks. Sickles looking in. Getting his signals from Long. Jensen waiting for that first pitch. That one's going to come in high. It actually skipped off of the, I think it skipped off of the catcher's glove and came off the umpire's mask. And Lingo will get over to second on a, we'll call it a passed ball. Lumberjacks already with a runner in scoring position. 1-0 count to Jensen. Sickles looks in, the pitch on the way, low and inside for ball 2. I think Jensen said it, maybe clipped his knee. The umpire says no. 2-0 count to Jensen. Lingo takes his lead off of second. That pitch is going to be inside. And that one will hit him. And that'll put 2 on by hit by pitch for the Lumberjacks. And Lingo's getting sent back to second. He can't steal over to third on the hit by pitch. Dead ball. That'll bring up Will Durham with nobody out. Runners on first and second for St. Mary's. On deck is Chris Brousseau. In the hole is Daniel Jensen. Sickles' first pitch. Up high, ball 1 to Durham. Once again, it's a very nice spring day here in St. Mary's for some baseball. Hopefully the weather continues to be nice into tomorrow. I haven't checked that far ahead. 1-0 count. It's going to be a ground ball. Chopper down to the second baseman. They're going to get to throw to the shortstop at second for the 1 out. And the ball, the throw to first, will be not in time. So we'll call that one a fielder's choice. So 1 out, runners at the corners for the Lumberjacks now. Lingo at third, Durham at second base, or at first base. Chris Brousseau to the plate with one out. On deck will be Daniel Jensen and the whole Cody Mitchell. First pitch, outside corner, strike one. Oh, 1 count to Brousseau. Pitch on the way. Gonna have the steal on. That'll be a strike. Stolen base to Durham. So runners now at second and third for the Lumberjacks with one out. 2-0 or 0-2 count to Brousseau. It's Chris Brousseau. Ooh, chased a high one there. Strike three. He'll go out swinging. 2 down now brings up Daniel Jensen for the Lumberjacks. On deck is Cody Mitchell. Lumberjacks don't want to miss out on this opportunity to get a run across. First pitch to Jensen, a big swing, strike one. Rough start for Sickles, but he kind of bounced back a little bit. 0-1 count to Jensen. Next pitch on the way. That's going to be popped up. Foul territory. It's going to get out of play for strike two. 0-2 count now to Jensen. Now he has to protect. Sickles looks in, gets his signals from Long. Long sets. The pitch on the way. That one's going to miss up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Jensen. One, 2-1 count. 1-2 count. That pitch misses low and outside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Durham takes his lead off of second over there. Got a nice lead out there. Lingo also getting a lead off of third. 2-2 count. Sickles pitch on the way. That one's going to miss. The ball gets past the pitcher or the catcher, and a run will score as Lingo comes sliding into home. So 1 run across for the Lumberjacks with 2 out. Full count to Jensen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Durham over to third base on that same missed or passed ball or wild pitch on that last one. Sickles sets up the pitch on the way. That one's going to be a ball and another kind of wild pitch. And that'll bring Durham in as that ball got back behind the catcher again. So 2 runs across for the Lumberjacks. Still 2 outs, and we've got Cody Mitchell to the plate. Cody, a junior. Jensen battled hard to get on the plate, earn that walk. Jensen's going to steal the second, slides in safely. That pitch is low and outside for ball 1. Sickles has thrown 16 pitches so far. 10 of them have been balls, 6 of them have been strikes. The 1-0 count to Mitchell. Pitch on the way. He's going to take a swing at that one and gets it on the ground, and he'll make it to first base safe. That ball is a ground ball. The first baseman has to come off the bag to get to it. The catcher wasn't, or the Sickles wasn't quite quick enough to get over to cover first base. And Mitchell is safe at first. Jensen gets over to third. Runners at the corners once again for St. Mary's. Troy Long steps out in front of the plate to give the defensive call for the corners. And it'll be Jordan Hammonds to the plate for the Lumberjacks. Hammonds, the first baseman, waiting for his first pitch from Sickles. On the way. Nice pitch, good swing, but swung underneath it. Strike one to Hammonds. Sickles steps back in. 2-0 Lumberjacks lead here in the bottom of the first. 0-1 pitch on the way. That one's going to be down low. Ball one. Cody will slide into second on his belly for the stolen base. And Lumberjacks now have two guys in scoring position once again. 1-1 strike to Hammonds. Pitch on the way. That's a nice looking pitch. It's going to be a called strike. 1-2 strikes. Surprised Hammonds was able to lay off and not swing at that one. 1-2 count to Jordan. On deck will be Sawyer Nantel if Jordan gets on. In the hole is Russell Brusso. 1-2 pitch on the way. Big swing and right under strike three. That'll retire the sides, but St. Mary's does bring in 2 runs on 1 hit. I didn't record any errors for the Bulldogs. 2 left on base. It's 2-0 in favor of the Lumberjacks going into the top of the second, and we'll have Traven Sickles, Josh Whiteside, and Colt Shoe for the Bulldogs step into the plate.
Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler dropped in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goal. Hughes Ace Hardware, the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to savings. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the hot deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to savings.
And we are back here at Potlatch Deltic Field. You're listening to Lumberjack Baseball on 1240 KOFE in St. Mary's. It's the Lumberjacks hosting the Bulldogs in the Central Idaho League matchup tomorrow. The Lumberjacks have another Central Idaho League matchup that's a doubleheader with the Kellogg Wildcats coming to town. Kellogg is 0-3 in league play. They lost 3 league games to Orofino. Orofino looks right now to be, well, Priest River playing pretty good too, apparently. Priest River 5-0 overall. Orofino 6-0. So St. Mary's looking to get a few important league wins here early in the season. Raven Sickles steps in for the Bulldogs. Will Durham on the mound for St. Mary's. 15 pitches in that first inning for Durham. 11 strikes, 4 balls, and I think all 3 were strikeouts. First pitch called strike. That one looked like it was right over the middle of the plate. On deck for the Bulldogs is Whiteside and then Shoe in the hole. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. That one's going to be fouled down the first base line. 0-2 count to Sickles. Sickles definitely looks like he could put one over the fence if he gets good solid contact. 0-2 count to Sickles. Durham's pitch on the way. Ground ball out to the shortstop. Daniel Jensen scoops it up. The throw to first is in time to record the out.
Nice play, guys.
Well, that's 1 out. Brings up Whiteside, the left fielder for the Bulldogs. Colt Shoe on deck. In the hole is Carson Barger. First pitch to Whiteside. Going to be a called strike. A 1 count to Whiteside. Durham set, the pitch on the way. That one just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike now. One count to Whiteside. Pitch on the way. Swing on that one. Miss. Strike 2. Popped out of the glove of Jensen. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Whiteside. 1 down, nobody on. Top of the 2nd inning for the Bulldogs. One, two. Still getting a signal. Now ready to go. The 1-2 pitch on the way. That one, I think, a little high. Couldn't get him to chase that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Evens that count back up for Whiteside. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and he'll go down swinging. That is 4 strikeouts out of 5 batters faced so far for Durham. Brings up Colt Shue with 2 outs and nobody on for Grangeville. Carson Barger on deck. Blake early in the hole. First pitch to Shue on the way. That's going to be a ground ball hit down to that first base side. It just gets under the glove of, I believe, Nantel, and Shue will be safe at first. And now a mistake throwing that ball in will advance Shue over to second. Call that an error, but I don't know who threw it in. Just a little miscommunication error, miss by St. Mary's. Puts Shue over on second base. Brings up Carson Barger batting in that number 7 slot. He's the first baseman. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Shue's hit was well placed. Durham sets back up on the rubber, looks in, gets a signal, checks over to second base. Shue gets the lead off. Pitch on the way. That one just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike to Barger. Again, checks over to second base, making sure Shue stays close. That pitch is going to catch the outside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Barger. One, 2 count now to Barger. Checks over to Shue, sets up, looks over to second base again. Pitch on the way. Going to be a called strike 3 and going to catch him looking, and that'll be 3 outs. That'll retire the sides. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on base, and the score is still 2-0 in favor of the Lumberjacks going into the bottom of the 2nd. And it'll be the 8 and 9 batters, Sawyer Nantel and Russell Brousseau, and then back to the top to Lingo when we return.
Jack Bill Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses. And most importantly, people. Jack Bill Trucking believes in responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, when you take a close look, those aren't just chips. They're an entire community. Jack Bill Trucking.
Sometimes accidents happen. You never thought it would happen to you, but it did. Where can you turn for that friendly hand of support? Jack's Pharmacy is your good neighbor pharmacy in St. Mary's, where you'll find personalized care. Whether you need crutches, supports, wheelchairs, or even a hospital bed, Jax is here for you. We service both Medicare and Medicaid. If you need durable medical equipment, come to Jax, your good neighbor pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention.
Yeah, we are back here at Potlatch Deltic Fields. Lumberjack boys hosting the Grangeville Bulldogs in the Central Idaho League matchup. Second game of the season for Lumberjacks. All of the Central Idaho League teams have played some early Central Idaho League matchups. In most sports, and I think even in baseball, for some time, you kind of wait a little while to get these Central Idaho League games underway. But first pitch to Nantel, catches that outside corner for strike one. Nantel steps back in. Sickles looks into long for his signal. Pitch on the way. That one misses down low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nantel. Sickles looks into long, sets up the pitch on the way. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now to Sawyer. Two one pitch on the way. Swing, and hit that into the gap right over center field, right over the top of the second base bag, and it'll be a single on the ground ball by Nantel. Perfect placement. Nobody in the area to try to scoop that ball up. So Nantel's on first, brings up Brousseau. That's Russell Brousseau. Then we'll be back to the top of the order to Lingo. Nantel takes his lead off on first. Sickles looks in. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Brousseau for strike one. Nantel again takes his lead off of second, or off of first. Brousseau, wait for that next pitch on the way. That one's going to miss low and outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brousseau. One pitch. Oh, going to get a called strike on that one. I think Russ thought it was a little high in the zone. Didn't get that call that he was looking for. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Russ. 1-2 pitch. Oh, that one was a nice looking pitch there. Started out high, dropped over the plate, froze him in the box, and catches him looking. 1 out, brings up the top of the order to Lingo. Lingo was hit by pitch, very first pitch of the game. On deck will be Santana, Jensen, and the whole Will Durham. That's Lingo's second shot at, reached for one there, but the hit and run, I think, was gone. Strike 1. Nantel, though, gets over to second on the stolen base. Oh. Undo. They're calling. Peyton is out for batter interference. Which I got to figure out where that's at. I'll bring up Jensen. Pitches up high. We'll call it offensive interference. I know we've got 1 ball to Jensen. I think I missed a pitch, though. That's a strike. So it's a 2-1 count to Jensen. With 2 outs, runner at first for St. Mary's as Nantel over there at first base. Next pitch misses outside. 3-1 count to Jensen. On deck is Durham for St. Mary's. And Santana was also hit by pitch in his first at bat. 2-1 count, pitch on the way. And that's another hit by pitch for Jensen. Puts runners at first and second for the Lumberjacks with Durham coming up. Durham reached on a fielder's choice. He hit one out to the second baseman in his first at bat, flipped it to the shortstop, and got the runner from first to second out. On deck for St. Mary's is Chris Brousseau. In the hole is Daniel Jensen. First pitch is going to be a called strike. A 0-1 count. Pitch on the way. That one missed just low, maybe a little outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you didn't notice, we got a little bit of a breeze today. Sickles checks over to second. The pitch on the way. He's going to take a swing at that one, foul it straight back into the backstop. It's a 1-2 count now to Durham. Has to protect now. Sickles again checks the bags. Now looks back in. Pitch on the way. That one is inside. He's throwing that curveball. That one misses inside, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Evens the count back up at 2-2. 2-2 pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. Strike 3. That will retire the sides. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base for the Lumberjacks. Going into the top of the third, St. Mary still leads the Bulldogs 2-0. And the Bulldogs in the bottom part of their order. The 8-9 is Blake Early and Jack Ike, and then back to the top to Luke Stark.
Mitchell Excavation in Fernwood is a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports. For all of your road building, site preparation needs, call Mitchell Excavation, 208-245-1160. Whether ditch digging for plumbing and electrical or home site preparation, Mitchell Excavation is the place to call. That's Mitchell Excavation in Fernwood, 208-245-1160. Mitchell Excavation says, go Lumberjacks!
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
And we are back. St. Mary's leads the Bulldogs 2-0 in the top of the third inning. It'll be Blake Early in the number 8 slot for the Bulldogs, then Jack Ike, and then back to the top of their order, Luke Stark. Santana Jensen got his gear on, headed back here behind home plate. Again, we're here at the Potlatch Deltic Fields, the first game for the boys out here on their new field. Soccer's played some games. Softball played a few games at the end of last year on their side of the field. It's nice to have all the sports finally getting to play out here. And I can tell you this field looks great. Next step from what I understand is trying to get that funding up so they can put lights out here. Maybe get some scoreboards. But it is definitely turning into a pretty nice facility. With a pretty nice view as well. It'll be Blake Early facing off against Will Durham. Durham with only 28 pitches through 2 innings so far. 7 balls, 21 strikes, pitching well. 5 strikeouts, I believe. Big swing and a miss at that first pitch by Early. Strike 1. 0-1 count to early. Pitch on the way. That one's going to get away from Durham a little bit, down in the dirt. Ball 1. Seven batters faced and 5 strikeouts so far for Durham. 1-1 count to early. The pitch on the way. Low and inside or outside. Ball 2. 2-1 count to Durham. I think it's the first time Durham's been behind in the count up on the mound. 2-1 pitch on the way. Almost got him to chase that one, but early lays up on it. That was a little up and out. Runs the count 3-1 to early. Three-one pitch on the way. That's right across the plate for a called strike. That runs the count full. 3-2 to Blake early. Again, on the deck is Jack Ike. In the hole is Luke Stark for the Bulldogs. Full count pitch on the way. Got him to swing. That one kind of dropped off. Strike 3 swinging. 1 out. That's 6 strikeouts now for Durham out of, I think, 7 batters. Brings up Jack Ike. He is the right fielder for the Bulldogs, and it'll be back to the top of the order. Luke Stark on deck. First pitch to Ike on the way. Swings on an inside pitch. Strike 1. That one was in on the hands there. 0-1 count to Ike. One pitch on the way. That one going to be over the plate for a called strike. 0-2 now to Ike. 1 out, nobody on for the Bulldogs. In top of the third, St. Mary's leads 2-0. Ike has to protect now. 0-2 pitch on the way. And he's going to take a swing at that one and miss. Strike 3. He'll go down swinging. Back to the top of the order for the Bulldogs. Luke Stark struck out his first at bat. Things might get a little bit, not really tougher, but now everybody has now seen Durham's pitches. I think he struck out 8 of 9 of the first batters on that first go around. First pitch, Stark's going to square up to bunt and pops that over all the way foul up and over the backstop. That one almost landed on the Booster Club's grill. 0-1 count to Stark. Jensen and calling his first baseman in a little bit. That pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Strike 2. Nice pitch by Durham. 0-2 count to Stark. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. That one just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Stark. This umpire takes a little bit of time sometimes calling those strike calls, so I have to wait a minute to see where he's going with it, but that was a close pitch there. 1-2 count to Stark. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base for the Bulldogs. It's still the Lumberjacks leading 2-0 into the bottom of the third. And we are in that number 4 slot for St. Mary's. It'll be Brousseau, Daniel Jensen, and Cody Mitchell. I guess I should say Chris Brousseau, because there is 2 Brousseaus on the roster as well. We'll be back.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Benoit, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work, M&S can do that too with their bucket truck. M&S Electric, 408 Main Avenue, St. Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric. For all of your area high school sports schedules, updates, and recaps, including Lakeside, Kootenai, and of course, St. Mary's High School, pick up your copy of the St. Mary's Gazette Record every Wednesday. Not only will they have game recaps and highlights for area high school sports action, but local news and information. St. Mary's Gazette Record, pick up a copy today. And we are back as Traven Sickles finishes up his warm-up pitches out there on the mound, continuing here into the bottom of the third. He has a total of 41 pitches in the first 2 innings, 20 balls, 21 strikes. Lumberjacks lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. Chris Brousseau leads off for the Lumberjacks. He struck out swinging in his first at bat. On deck is Daniel Jensen. In the hole is Cody Mitchell. There's that curveball there and got Brousseau to stop. He thought about swinging at it. Thought it was going to come across high, I think, and then it tailed off at the end. And I put it down as a ball. It was a strike. 0-1 count to Brousseau. That's a nice looking pitch by Sickles. Next pitch on the way, swing and a miss. It would look like it was supposed to be a fastball. 0-2 count now to Brousseau. That's the battle. Next pitch on the way. That one's up high. Ball 1. So it's a 1-2 count to Brousseau. 1-2 pitch on the way. Oh, that one's going to hit him. Just got him in the lower back. He tried to kind of get out of the way of that thing, and it just caught him. That'll send him down to first with a hit by pitch. They'll bring Daniel Jensen to the plate for the Lumberjacks. Cody Mitchell on deck. Daniel earned himself a walk his first at bat. He started behind in the count. I think he was down 2 strikes early, worked his way back to a walk. First pitch. That one's going to miss outside. Wild pitch. That'll get Brousseau to second. He was already taken off to get that stolen base. Didn't have to work too hard for it, as that one was wide of the catcher. Got all the way back to the backstop. So 1 ball, no strikes to Jensen. Runner at second base for the Lumberjacks. That's Brousseau in the scoring position. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Lumberjacks would like to get some more on the board there. That's another wide pitch. And they're going to try to get the throw to third. They can't get it there in time. The ball skips past the third baseman, and Brousseau is going to come in on an error on that third base. I think it was on the third baseman. It might have been the throw from the catcher. So stolen base to get over to third and then to home on an error by the Bulldogs. We'll call it an error on the catcher. He might have left that a little short trying to get it out there to third base. So Lumberjacks get another run on the board. I think it is now 3 balls, no strikes to Jensen. That pitch. Oh, that's going to be a called strike. I thought that one was way up. Okay, 3-1 count, I believe, to Jensen. That pitch is definitely a better one to call for a strike. 3-2, full count now to Daniel. Three-two pitch on the way. Had to protect, swing at something close, and couldn't make contact. And he'll go out swinging. Good at bat, though. Brings up Cody Mitchell. Mitchell hit a single over to first base in his first at bat. 1 out, nobody on for the Lumberjacks. They've got 1 run across here in the bottom of the third. They lead the Bulldogs 3-0. Jordan Hammond's on deck. Sawyer Nantel in the hole. Mitchell, a junior. Now he's capable of putting the ball deep into play. That first pitch I think is high for ball 1. Radio. Next pitch to Mitchell. That one's going to be down low. 2 balls, no strikes to Cody.
2-0 pitch on the way. That's going to be a called strike. That's a 2-1 count to Mitchell. Sickles pitch on the way. Oh, yep. Another good-looking pitch from Sickles. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swings at the one that looked like it might have been outside. Strike 3. And Mitchell will go down swinging. It'll bring up Jordan Hammonds, who struck out swinging his first at bat. One thing I know the coaches don't mind is if you go down swinging. I think last year we had a lot of outs where our guys weren't swinging at those third strike pitches. On deck is Nantel. In the hole is Russell Brousseau. First pitch. Catches that outside corner for a called strike. Sickle kind of seems like he might be finding a groove here in the bottom of the third. He's up to 57 pitches already, though. Next pitch. Oh, Hammonds, I think, thought it was low, but it's going to be a called strike, too. Oh, 2 pitch to Hammonds on the way. That one is going to be that curve ball. And it'll be 3 pitches and 3 strikes. And that will retire the side. St. Mary's does pick up a run. No hits, 1 error, nobody left on base. Going into the top of the 4th, St. Mary's leads the Bulldogs 3-0. And we are at the number 2 batter, Colton Heitzman for the Bulldogs, with Troy Long on deck and Traven Sickles in the hole when we return.
The name says it all. Taco Bout It. What is it, you may ask? It's the best taco truck in town. Might even be the only taco truck in town. If you like tacos, and who doesn't, then you need to stop by Taco Bout It, located at 128 South Highway 3 in St. Mary's, across the street from Triple X Feeds. Taco Bout It has too many tacos to list, so you will just have to try them all. Call in your order 208-582-8533, or just stop by. Taco Bout It, located across the street from Triple X Feeds in St. Mary's. When you need that morning pick-me-up before work or school, there's one place that comes to mind. It's a place that loves our community, the St. Mary's Lumberjacks, and all the local businesses and people in our village. Shift and Grind in St. Mary's is all about the community. Whether it's helping raise money for the Booster Club or for a family in need, the Shift and Grind family are always ready to help. So be sure to stop by Shift and Grind for your caffeinated needs. Located at 132 First Street in St. Mary's, Shift and Grind says, go Lumberjacks.
And we are back. As leading off for the Bulldogs will be Colton Heitzman, struck out swinging his first at bat. On deck is Troy Long. In the hole is Traven Sickles. First pitch called strike 1. St. Mary's leads the Bulldogs 3-0. St. Mary's has 2 hits, 1 error, 4 left on base. The Bulldogs with no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. 0-1 pitch to Heitzman on the way. Going to be a called strike again. I think Heitzman thought that one was a little low. Doesn't get the call he was hoping for. 0-2 count now. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And he'll go down swinging. I believe that is the 9th or 10th strikeout for Durham. Troy Long struck out swinging his first at bat. Traven Sickles on deck. Josh Whiteside in the hole for the Bulldogs. That pitch is going to get away from Durham a little bit. That one ends up wide and in the dirt. Ball 1. Durham only has 45 pitches thrown so far through three and a partial innings. 1-0 pitch on the way. Swing, and that's a high fly ball. And I don't know if anybody truly called for it for the Lumberjacks, as Santana Jensen and Will Durham both go to get it. And Durham is able to record the out. Two outs for the Bulldogs. Brings up Traven Sickles, nobody on base. Sickles grounded out his first at bat. First pitch fouled back for strike one. Got my field mic or crowd mic kind of stuck through the fence, so might get quite a vibration sound when those foul balls hit the fence here. 0-1 count to Sickles. Next pitch. That one just misses outside. I tried to get him to chase one there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sickles. On deck is Whiteside. In the hole is Shoe. One pitch on the way. That's going to be a called strike. Again, it's been consistent by the umpire, but that's one of those ones I think both St. Mary's players and Bulldogs players, I think they keep thinking is going to be called a ball low. But he's been consistent with that being a strike all game long so far. 1-2 count to Sickles. Thought about offering it that one, and they're going to see if he went around. No, he did not. That'll be outside, I believe, for 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sickles. 2-2 pitch on the way. Chopping foul ground ball down the third baseline. Count remains 2-2 to Sickles. Two pitch on the way from Durham. Ground ball to the third baseman. It's kind of a chopper. Bingo has to come up for it. The throw to first is in time. That was a tough ground ball there because it was a slow roller down that third base line. Peyton had to kind of charge it, scooped it up in front of that bag and get the throw to the first baseman in time, and they'll record the out. 3 up and 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for the Bulldogs. It is still the Lumberjacks leading 3-0 into the bottom of the 4th. And we'll have the number 8 batter, Sawyer Nantel, the number 9, Russell Brousseau, then back to the top of the order, Peyton Lingo, when we return.
If you know which side of a saw cuts wood, and if you can hammer a nail, you can do it yourself. Carpentry, construction, finishing, or framing, around here, you've got it made. You've got 10th Street Lumber. At 10th Street Lumber, we have the answers to your building and repair project questions. Every day, 10th Street Lumber helps homeowners get quality results. For lumber, block, power tools, fixtures, everything you need for a professional job. Don't pick up a nail until you shop 10th Street Lumber. 10th Street Lumber on the corner of 10th and Railroad Avenue in St. Mary's. Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oakes at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oakes a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255. Spring is sprung and Triple X Feeds in St. Mary's is ready to fulfill your spring needs. Fruit trees, shade trees, berry bushes are in stock and just waiting for you to plant them in your yard. Triple X Feeds also has lawn and gardening supplies, including seeds. And before I forget, the chicks are in, and new batches arrive every Friday now through the beginning of June. Triple X is also your 4-H headquarters for market turkeys. Stop by and talk to Nancy today. Triple X Feeds, 130 East College Avenue, St. Mary's.
Well, I will have to change a little bit on that ad for Triple X because you will need to stop by and talk to Josephine or Hayden or one of them over at Triple X now, not Nancy. First pitch to Sawyer Nantel, a big swing, one that kind of broke inside on him, and it'll be a strike one to Sawyer. He did hit a single in his first at bat. He was definitely a little upset with that swing at that first pitch from Sickles. Sickles has thrown 60 pitches so far. That one's going to be high and outside. Ball one. Sickles started out behind the count. He had more balls than strikes. He has caught up and kind of, like I said, got into a groove. 28 balls, 33 strikes thrown so far for him. 1-1 count to Nantel. Pitch on the way. That's going to be a called strike outside corner. 1-2 count to Sawyer. On deck is Russell Brousseau. In the hole is Peyton Lingo. St. Mary's will have batted around twice now, I think it is. Oh, Sawyer really getting mad at himself for that one. He had to protect and just couldn't lay off of that one. That one was a high pitch. Strike 3. And that'll be out number 1 for the Lumberjacks. They'll bring up Russell Brousseau. He was caught looking in his first at bat. I think he's one of the only ones so far that was caught looking. 1 down, nobody on for the Lumberjacks here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Lumberjacks lead. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Brousseau. Next pitch, gonna swing at that one too. It kind of seemed like a little bit of an off-speed pitch from Sickles on that one. It's an 0-2 count now to Russ. Oh, 2 count. Oh, another one. That was that kind of curveball that drops down. I think that's what he thought that one was going to do, and it stayed up high. Strike 3 on that one. Top of the order for the Lumberjacks with 2 outs. Brings up Lingo. Lingo was out on a batter's interference, and that was last at bat. Had a hit and run on, and I'm not sure what Peyton exactly did, but he took his swing like he was supposed to. I think he got a little ways in the way of the throw. They're going to have the hit by Lingo as a chopper right out to Sickles, and it'll be a quick ground out for Peyton from the Sickles to the first baseman, and that is one of the quicker innings for the Bulldogs defensively. No runs, no hits, no errors for St. Mary's. Nobody left on base. Into the top of the 5th inning, St. Mary's still leads 3-0. It'll be Josh Whiteside leading off when we return for the Bulldogs with Colt Shue on deck, Carson Barger in the hole.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Idaho so special? They do. You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
St. Joe Oil isn't just a fuel delivery company. They provide a much larger service than most people realize. St. Joe Oil can sell you a brand new Toyo oil stove and install it for you, and also keep your oil tank full. Not only that, St. Joe Oil plays a very critical role in our local industries. From logging to farming, St. Joe Oil keeps the fuel tanks full. From heating oil to off-road diesel and everything in between, call St. Joe Oil 208-245-2123. That's 208-245-2123. St. Joe Oil.
And we are back here at Potlatch Deltic Fields. Lumberjacks and the Bulldogs doing battle on the baseball diamond. St. Mary's leads 3-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Will Durham continues on the mound for St. Mary's. He has struck out 9 out of 14 batters. So he's having a good afternoon out there on the mound. Leading off for the Bulldogs is Whiteside. He struck out swinging his first at bat. On deck will be Colt Shue and Carson Barger in the hole. Durham has just 52 total pitches thrown so far. First pitch low and outside for ball 1. 0-1 pitch or 1-0 pitch on the way. That one down low as well. 2 balls, no strikes from Durham. Two 0 count on the way. That one's going to be swung on and fouled out into the parking lot. 2-1 count now to Whiteside. Two 1 pitch on the way from Durham. Another foul ball down that first base side of the field. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Evens the count up. Two pitch on the way. That'll be a base, not maybe, yep, it'll be a base hit as that gets into the gap out into left field or right field. More center. Nice ground ball by Whiteside. It's only the second hit of the game for the Bulldogs. St. Mary's only has 2 hits as well. So Whiteside on base for the Bulldogs with no outs. Brings up Colt Shue. Shue had a single in his first at bat too. That was hit out into past that first baseman. I think it was one that got into the glove of Nantel. On deck is Barger. First pitch. That'll be fair ball down the third base line. Nice hit by Shue there. They're going to get Whiteside all the way over to third base, and Shue will get over to second on the throw. That's what I'm going to call it anyway. So the Bulldogs have a couple of runners in scoring position now with no outs. Brings up Carson Barger, struck out looking his first at bat. On deck is Blake Early. In the hole is Ike. Bottom 7, 8, 9 batters for the Bulldogs. They're up. He's going to square around the bunt and he'll foul that one back for strike 1. Try to get that sacrifice bunt laid down to try to get a run in. Force Lumberjacks to choose besides the out at first or keeping the bases loaded. 0-1 count to Barger. Durham checks the bags, pitch on the way. Stretches to try to hit that bunt again and misses that time. Strike 2, 0-2 count to Barger. Now Barger has to protect the plate, down 0-2. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll get the first out of the inning. Oh, St. Mary's with a little bit of a bugaboo there. They tried to get a pickoff, I think, down to third base. The ball got away from the third baseman, but actually, I think it was maybe, looked like the third baseman was one that cleaned it up. No harm, no foul, though, as Whiteside not able to advance. St. Mary's needs to settle it down just a little bit there. 1 out, runners at second and third for the Bulldogs. Brings up Blake Early. He struck out swinging his first at bat. On deck is Ike. Oh, hit by pitch will load the bases for the Bulldogs. As Blake Early takes that one in the ribs. Coach Lounsbury is going to go out and hawk to Durham. Might be more of a situational talk more than anything, considering the bases are loaded. 2 outs. Or 1 out. Lounsbury heads back to the dugout. have to believe there was a little bit of a situational talk and also just telling him not to worry about it too much. Just play his game. Anything lightly hit out into the infield, probably try to throw home to get the out at home, but take the easiest option, obviously. Brings up Jack Ike, who struck out swinging, and I think they said that's a foul ball. Ike tried to get out of the way of that and have that ball come off the barrel of the bat. So it's a 0-1 count to Ike. One out, bases loaded. Bulldogs have a little something going for them. If St. Mary's can get two more outs without anybody running, it'll be a good inning and a good work by St. Mary's to get out of a little bit of a jam. 0-1 count to Ike. That one misses outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the order is on deck. Luke Stark in the batting circle. Or the on deck circle. 1-1 count to Ike. Pitch is on the way. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. And they're getting a rundown here on Whiteside. Nobody there, though, for that little bit of miscommunication there. Maybe is the next guy to back up over on third base. Didn't get over there. But had Whiteside sweating there for a minute on that rundown. Couldn't quite get him. 1-2 count to Ike. One pitch on the way. Strike 3 called, and it'll catch him looking on that one. I ain't gonna put that right. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Bulldogs. Brings up the top of the order. Luke Stark. He has struck out swinging in both of his at bats. Bulldogs have enough guys on base to tie this up. Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Stark. A 1 count. Durham gets his foot placement on the rubber, looks into Jensen. Doesn't need to worry about looking at the bases, obviously. Sets up on the rubber. Pitch on the way, fouls that one off for strike 2. So Stark quickly down in the count. Durham calling for a new ball from the umpire. Like Will wants to get that one out of play. Ready to go again. 0-2 count to Stark. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Bulldogs. St. Mary's leads 3-0, top of the 5th. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Lumberjacks had themselves in a little bit of a pickle, and they get out of the jam with some good pitching and some good defensive work. And St. Mary's doesn't allow a run there with bases loaded. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base. The score is still 3-0 in favor of the Lumberjacks going into the bottom of the 5th, and we'll have Santana Jensen, Will Durham, and Chris Brousseau up to bat when we return.
St. Mary's Realty is a St. Mary's icon. Why? Because they are a team. They work for you. And they've been a team for many years. Whether you are buying your first home, looking for a recreational cabin, or selling your current home, St. Mary's Realty puts their team on it for you. So stop in or give them a call today at 245-4502 and let their team be your team. That's St. Mary's Realty at 726 Main Avenue, St. Mary's.
Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat, located next to Harvest Foods in St. Mary's. Open 24 hours, we have washers and dryers of all sizes to get your laundry done quickly. If you'd like to get your laundry done in less than 5 minutes, take advantage of our drop-off laundry service where we wash, dry, and fold it for you. While you do your laundry, be sure to take advantage of our touchless automatic car wash, which has that great undercarriage spray to get the grime off. Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat can be found at riverbendbubbles.com or call 208-582-48 44.
And we are back here at Potlatch Deltic Fields listening to Lumberjack baseball on 1240 KOFE. Lumberjacks lead 3-0. We also have our audio YouTube stream going, and I think over on our Facebook page, our Sideline HD is going. I don't know if the audio is getting through to that or not, and it looks like it might be a little bit blurry, but we're working on trying to get that thing dialed in. It'll be Santana Jensen leading off. He's been hit by pitch twice in this one. First pitch is trying for that like dropping curve ball, and it misses high for ball one to Jensen. It'll be Jensen, Durham, and Chris Brousseau. The next three batters. St. Mary's leads 3-0. Pitch, a big swing and a miss. Strike one. St. Mary's has 3 runs on 2 hits. The Lumberjacks committed 1 error. They've left 4 on base. The Bulldogs have no runs on 3 hits. 1 error and 4 left on base. Up high, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. So fairly even as far as that's concerned. St. Mary's took advantage of those hit by pitches early in the first inning. Then a passed ball later on. That one's going to be a nice level from Sickles, but misses inside for ball 3. 3-1 count to Jensen. That one's going to miss up high. Jensen learned himself a walk, so he's been hit by pitch twice and walked on that third at bat. That'll bring up Durham. Fielder's choice in his first at bat, struck out swinging in the next at bat. Then Chris Brousseau on deck. First pitch misses low, ball 1 to Durham. On deck for St. Mary's is Chris Brousseau. I think I said that's Durham up to the plate. Daniel Jensen will be on in the hole. Oh, they're going to try a pickoff over to pickoff attempt. And reaching over to second on the error is Jensen. Going to give the error on the first baseman. That ball got past the first baseman. Nobody back there to back him up. So Jensen gets over to second base. 1 ball, no strikes to Durham. Jensen takes his lead off of second. Pitch from Sickles, fouled off on that one into the parking lot. 1 ball, 1 strike. And with all the cars that close there, the whole crowd kind of turns and looks to see where that thing's going to land. 1-1 count to Durham. Runner on second, no outs for St. Mary's. Sickles checks second base. The pitch on the way, a ground ball right to the pitcher. And again, a wild throw is going to get Durham on the error and bring a run across as Jensen comes home from second. Just a little chopper out to the pitcher, and he misses the throw to his first baseman. And the Lumberjacks get another run across. Brings up Chris Brousseau with no outs. Runner on second for the Lumberjacks. Brousseau struck out swinging his first at bat, was hit by pitch in the first at bat, or in the second at bat. Swings at that first pitch for strike 1. On deck is Daniel Jensen, and the hole is Mitchell. Pitch on the way. Stays high. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chris Brousseau. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brousseau. Durham takes his lead off second. Sickles checks the bag, looks back in. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he'll go down swinging. Durham will still over to third, though. Puts himself into scoring position, which he was already there in second base, but He'll bring up Daniel Jensen. Walked his first at bat, struck out swinging his second at bat. On deck is Cody Mitchell. Sickles up to 79 pitches. That's a line drive out in the center field by Jensen. It'll be an RBI single, and it'll bring a run across. Nice hit by Daniel Jensen. Brings up Cody Mitchell with one out. Runner up first base now. St. Mary's 2 runs across here in the bottom of the 5th. Gives them a 5-0 advantage over the Bulldogs. Cody struck out swinging in his last at bat. Hit a single his first at bat. On deck is Jordan Hammonds. First pitch, curve ball, strike one. That one looked like it was going to go inside and cut back on Mitchell. 0-1 count to Cody. Try the pickoff over to first. That time the throw is on point from Sickles to Barger. After a couple of miscues, one of those miscues got a run scored. That one's going to hit Mitchell. He'll be hit by pitch. Daniel Jensen will get robbed of the stolen base. Brings up Jordan Hammonds with one out. Runners at first and second. Hammonds with 2 strikeouts swinging. And Bulldogs coach going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Brings the catcher out. 82 pitches now for Sickles. I think the cutoff is 110 pitches. So a quick talk with Sickles. Probably check on him, see how he's feeling. I always forget there's actually that option in this stats program for the coach's visit. Doesn't really matter to put it in. But I think coaches only get so many visits. So Hammond's waiting for his first pitch of the inning from Sickles. Runners at first and second with one out for St. Mary's. A pitch on the way. Oh, going to be a called strike. Catches that outside corner. I thought that was wide. Oh, 1 count to Jordan. That pitch is going to be low and outside. Good stop there by Troy Long, keeping that ball out in front of him, not allowing any of the Lumberjack base runners to advance. Keeps Jensen at second and Cody Mitchell at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hammonds. Once again, we're in the bottom of the 5th. St. Mary's leads 5-0. And now they are going to try a pickoff. They're going to spin around and try to throw it over to second. And the ball gets into center field. Coming around to score is Daniel Jensen as he'll slide in safe. Daniel Jensen comes all the way in from second to score. Mitchell gets over to third, or to second. 1 ball, 1 strike, I believe, to Hammond. Next pitch, going to swing. He might have got a piece of it. I'm not sure, but it's a strike either way. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hammonds. 3 runs across in the bottom of the 5th for the Lumberjacks. They now lead 6-0 over the Bulldogs. 1 out. On deck for St. Mary's is Sawyer Nantel. Mitchell takes his lead off of second base. Pitch on the way, a big swing at that one, and it's going to be a miss for strike 3. 2 down for the Lumberjacks. Sawyer hit a single in his first at bat, struck out swinging in his second at bat. That single was out into center field. Another one of those out in the center field possibly brings Cody Mitchell in. But there is 2 outs. On deck will be Russell Brousseau for St. Mary's. First pitch. Nice pitch. No, it's a ball. Looked pretty decent, but it's going to be ball 1. Everybody resets. Sickles looks in. Checks second base. Make sure Mitchell is fairly close to the bag. Next pitch. Gonna get a big swing and a miss. Strike 3 or 2, or strike 1. And Cody Mitchell is just gonna squeeze in under the tag at third on the stolen base. And they also dropped the ball out there, but it was a pretty close play over there at third. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nantel. Sickles looks in. Mitchell gets a little bit of a lead off at third. Pitch on the way. That looks like a good pitch, and it is. Called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nantel. Sickles looks into the long, gets his signal. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be, I think, maybe a little high and also a little outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 90 pitches now for Sickles. Oh, gonna reach for one. That's that off speed. That's that kind of that little bit of a curveball that's gotten a couple of Lumberjacks off guard. Strike 3, and that'll be 91 pitches. I kind of wonder if we won't see Traven come back out to the next inning for pitching. But the Lumberjacks do come up with 3 runs on 1 hit. There were 3 Bulldog errors, 1 left on base. St. Mary's now leads 6-0 over the Bulldogs going into the top of the 6th inning. And the Bulldogs are in their number 2 slot. Colton Heitzman, Troy Long, Traven Sickles, the next 3 up to bat for Grangeville when we return.
Whistle Stop Coffee and More has come a long way from the little shop on Railroad Avenue. How far? Not only did they upgrade their Railroad Avenue location, they added a second location. That second location for Whistle Stop Coffee and More is on 313 St. Joe River Road. Both locations offer tasty drinks of coffee, Red Bull, or Lotus Energy, and food options, from acai bowls to cookies and delicious bagel sandwiches. Whistle Stop Coffee and More is the perfect stop for a quick bite and a drink on your way to work or school. Whistle Stop Coffee and More in St. Mary's.
And we are back. Will Durham continues on the mound for the Lumberjacks. Again, having a very good day pitching, to be honest with you. He has faced 19 batters. He has struck out 12 of them. No walks, and I think 1 hit by pitch. So a very solid day on the mound so far for Durham. Coach Craven's coming over, checking on the score. And looks like we're about ready to go. Nope, Santana's only got 1 part of his vest buckled. Back up. It'll be Colton Heitzman for the Bulldogs. He has 2 strikeouts in his first 2 at bats. Durham waiting to deliver that first pitch of the inning. Gonna get a called strike. That last inning, Bulldogs ended up with bases loaded. Some good pitching by Durham, some good defense by the Lumberjacks are able to keep Grangeville from able to capitalize on that bases loaded situation. Lumberjacks then put 3 more runs on the board in the bottom of the 5th to go up 6-0. That next pitch is a little low and outside. That'll be ball 1 to Heitzman. Durham is at 71 pitches through the 5 innings. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Durham, or to Heitzman from Durham. One, 2 pitch on the way. Down will miss a little low. Runs the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Durham looks in, gets his signals from Jensen, sets up on the rubber, the 2-2 pitch on the way, going to get him to swing at that one. He'll foul it off into the parking lot. Count will stay 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two count to Heitzman. Nobody on, no outs. Top of the 6th. That pitch misses low and outside. Runs the count full. Heitzman doing a good job there at the play. That's not Heitzman. That's number 1. I need to change that. I don't have a number 1 in my stuff for the Bulldogs. So we'll keep it with Heitzman for right now. That'll be a strike 3 on the swing. So 1 out. See if I can find my roster from the Bulldogs. Should be Troy Long now to the plate. He has a strikeout and a flyout. No, number 1 is Colton Heitzman. Okay, so I just have the wrong number for him in my lineup. That first pitch is going to be fouled back for strike 1. So in the roster I pulled off of Max Preps for the Bulldogs, Colton Heitzman was number 27. Oh, 1 count to Long. 1 out, nobody on for the Bulldogs. Durham looks in, the pitch on the way. Inside corner, strike 2. Catches him looking on that one. On deck will be Traven Sickles for the Bulldogs. And then in the hole is Whiteside. Whiteside was the one that kind of got things started that last inning for the Bulldogs. That pitch is going to be a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Going to catch him looking. And 2 outs now for the Bulldogs. 14, I believe, strikeouts now. Sickles, 2 ground outs for him today. 2 outs, nobody on for the Bulldogs. First pitch on the way, swung on, popped up. It's in foul territory. Calling for it, making the catch is Peyton Lingo for the final out. Good job tracking that in the sun. 3 up, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for the Bulldogs. And we're going into the bottom of the 6th. St. Mary's leads it 6-0. It'll be Russell Brousseau in that number 9 slot, then back to the top of the order, Lingo and Santana Jensen when we return.
There's a new shop on Main Street in St. Mary's. It's a gift shop. It's a home decor shop. It's a jewelry shop. It's a shop of bare necessities. Bare Necessities Trading Company is located at 822 Main Avenue in St. Mary's and has just about anything you could think of. From rocks and minerals to specialty foods, knives, and handcrafted soaps and lotions, there really is too much to list. So stop by at Bare Necessities Trading Company today and pick up a gift. Something new for your house, or a cup of coffee. That's Bare Necessities Trading Company, located at 822 Main Avenue in St. Mary's. Spring is here in St. Mary's, and the deals are blooming at the Country Fair. Score big with 75% off select winter jackets and 50% off all winter fashion while it lasts. Then step into spring with fresh dresses, new looks for men, women, and kids, plus toys and sporting goods for the whole family. It's the perfect time to save big and gear up for the season right on Main Street in St. Mary's. Country Fair, big savings, fresh styles, hometown pride. Get it before it's gone.
Nothing comes easy. Every day, every dollar, every decision. So your finances should work just as hard as you do. With a free Ascend checking account from P1FCU, you can earn real rewards for the work you're already doing. No gimmicks, just better banking. Because around here, dividends are for the doers. Learn more at p1fcu.org/ascend.
And we are back, bottom of the sixth. Matthew Siren for his first at bat of the game takes that first pitch inside for ball one. Surprised kind of to see Sickles continuing on the mound for the Bulldogs. He is at 92 pitches. Looks like they're going to let him go as many as he can throw. Next pitch is up high for ball two. 2-0 count to Siren. On deck is Peyton Lingo for the Lumberjacks. He'll be back to the top of the order. 2-0 pitch on the way. Inside. 3-0 count to Siren. The 3-0 pitch on the way. That one's going to miss just high as well for ball four. Brings up Peyton Lingo, hit by pitch, had an offensive interference and then a ground out. He's 0 for 2 today. Santana Jensen on deck for the Lumberjacks. In the hole is Durham. St. Mary's leads 6-0, bottom of the sixth inning. Try a throw over to first. Not going to get there in time. Just keeping him honest, I believe. Siren slides back. First pitch to Lingo is going to be down low. Good stop by Troy Long behind home plate, keeping that pitch in front of him. 1-0 count to Lingo. Nobody out. Runner on first for the Lumberjacks. Next pitch, going to get a swing. Nice looking pitch. That one might have been a little bit of a curve. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lingo. One count. Try to throw over to first again. And that one's left short. And it hops past the first baseman. So another error on the Bulldogs. Gets Siren over to second base for the Lumberjacks. It's the 5th error on the Bulldogs here in this one. I don't think they had an error until like the 3rd or 4th inning. 1-1 count to Lingo. Pitch on the way. That one's low. 2-1 count to Peyton. Siren getting his lead off of second base over there. Pitch on the way. That's going to be hit high and foul, I believe. And coming over to make the catch, though, Jack Ike makes a good play on that one. Tagging up and heading over to third, though, is Siren. So Siren finds himself in scoring position. 1 out brings up Jensen. Santana Jensen has hit by pitch, and walk. Technically has not had an at-bat today. First pitch is down low for ball 1. That'll be Traven Sickles' 100th pitch. Next pitch, that one's in on the hands. And I think it's going to probably be, I think he hit it. I think he technically fouled that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jensen. One pitch on the way. Leaves that one high. 2-1 count now to Jensen. On deck is Will Durham. Lumberjacks have just 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner on third. 1-2 count to Santana. Next pitch, little chopping ground ball down the third base line. Third baseman has to make a choice where he's going to go with it, and he's going to take the out at first base. I think the throw just barely gets there in time, but the run will score from third. It was a good throw by the third baseman for the Bulldogs. He kind of bobbled that throw the first time he tried to pick it up, so he was able to get it into his glove and get the throw to first to record the second out. So nobody on the bags now. William Durham Up. Durham takes a swing at that first pitch, kind of reaches for one. Maybe a breaking ball to the outside. Strike one to Durham. St. Mary's adds a little bit of an insurance run there. Gives them 7-0 over the Bulldogs. 0-1 pitch. That's that curveball. It's going to catch him for a called strike. That is a good-looking pitch from Sickles. 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be inside on his elbow. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That thing came within probably less than an inch of clipping his elbow. 1-2 count. Let's see if Durham can battle his way back into the count here. Next pitch on the way. And a swing at that one and foul that one out of play, I believe. No, that was actually in play still. Nobody could quite get to it. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Durham. Durham reached on a fielder's choice in his first at bat, struck out swinging in his second at bat, and then got on in an error. So it's a 1-2 count still to Durham. That pitch just misses. Durham did a good job of holding off. He thought about swinging at it at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Will. Oh, called strike 3 on that one. That'll retire the sides. There was 1 run, no hits, 1 error, nobody left on base. It is 7-0 in favor of the Lumberjacks, and it will be Whiteside, Shoe, and Barger when we return.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Idaho. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, well, well. Are you in need of a reputable, experienced, and knowledgeable well drilling and pump company? Look no further than Interstate Drilling and Pump. Interstate Drilling and Pump drills new wells, deepens existing wells, installs and repairs pumps, and does well testing both for water quality and gallons per minute. Interstate Drilling and Pump has 24 plus years of experience and serves from Moscow to Rathdrum and the Silver Valley. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on their schedule today. That's Interstate Drilling and Pump, 208-245-5101. 208-245-5101, Interstate Drilling and Pump.
And we are back, top of the 7th inning. Lumberjacks can get 3 outs quickly here, and the game will be finished up. Continuing out on the mound is Will Durham. He is at 80 pitches. I think I last checked 14 strikeouts. Josh Whiteside, I believe, is who's up to bat. First pitch to Whiteside. Called strike. The reason I say that I think that's up to bat is because it's kind of part of the game sometimes where coaches start to change their lineups a little bit here and there. But it should be Whiteside, Shoe, and Barger. That one is going to catch Whiteside in the foot. That's a strikeout swinging for Whiteside, a single, and then a hit by pitch. That one had to hurt as he's going to have to walk that one off out there. It's only the second, I believe, hit by pitch for Durham. See if they end up needing a courtesy runner for Whiteside, because that he took a little walk down past first base, went back, looks like he's good to go. Colt Shoe up now. Colt is 2 for 2. He has a single down that third base line. That was actually a nice ground ball that just right over the top of the third base bag. The other one was out in the first left field, first base side. Only one that had, I think he's the only Bulldog that hasn't struck out. First pitch is going to miss a little bit low. Ball one is. Forgot to mention that we do have some position changes. Chris Brousseau is behind home plate now. Carter Blackwell out at second. And I believe Sawyer Nantel went out to center. I think I just might have the wrong number for Sawyer. 1-0 count to Shu. And next pitch will be a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch, swing and a miss for strike 2. 1-2 count to Shu. One checking first, a 1-2 pitch. That's going to be a high foul ball. That one ended up just on the other side of the fence. Count is still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Shu. Pitch on the way. Swing. That's just a little blooper that's going to get. Oh, Hammonds tries to get that catch and is going to boot that one. And Lumberjacks will record their second error of the game with that one. It was kind of a tough play there, but I think we should have had the out there. So the Bulldogs have runners at first and second now with no outs. Brings up Carson Barger. Barger with 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Again, top of the 7th. St. Mary's leads 7-0. Durham checks second base. That pitch is going to miss outside, maybe a little high for ball 1. Durham looks in, checks his bags, now ready to. No, still checking over to second. Now the pitch on the way. He's going to get that one down in the dirt. That'll be a wild pitch that'll advance the runners. I'll call it a wild pitch. I never know what to call those ones. That one went under Rousseau. So that advances the runners. No outs. Runners at second and third for the Bulldogs. Shu at second. Whiteside at third. 2 balls, no strikes to Barger. That pitch is going to catch the inside corner, strike 1. That'll be the 90th pitch for Durham. As he's trying to go the whole way on the mound. Two-one count to Barger. William checks third, sets up. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Evens the count up to Barger. On deck is Early, I believe. In the hole is Jack Ike. Oh, that's actually not Barger. That's number 17. That is Zoilo Ando. 2-2 count to Ando. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. We'll get the first out of the inning. Now let's check. This is Blake Early. Blake, strikeout swinging, hit by pitch in his first 2 at-bats. On deck is Ike. First pitch down low. 1 ball, no strikes to Early. Again, the Bulldogs have runners at second and third. Durham looks in to Brousseau, checks over to third, looks to second. Pitch on the way. It's a nice looking pitch. Yep, called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to early. One count now. 1 out, runners at second and third. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to early with 1 out. Durham sets up. The pitch on the way. Misses low and outside. Might have been trying to get him to chase one there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch on the way. Ooh, that one over the head of early. He ducked just enough that didn't clip off of the top of his helmet. Runs the count full. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That hard wood backstop back here gives the catchers a good pop of the ball right back at him, so it kind of makes it hard for any runners to advance on those type of overthrows or those type of pitches. 3-2 to early. Durham gets him on a swing and a miss on that last pitch, and that'll be 2 outs as early goes down swinging. 2 outs, runners at second and third for the Bulldogs. It's Jack Ike in the number 9 slot. Strikeout swinging and strikeout looking for him. First pitch missed inside, I believe, for ball 1. On deck, if early gets, or if Ike gets on, will be the top of the order, Stark. One 0 pitch on the way. Going to be a called strike. That'll be the 100th pitch for Durham. 29 balls, 71 strikes thrown. He's been very efficient today. 1-1 count to Ike. Pitch on the way. Got him to swing on an inside pitch. That'll be strike 2. Now and got past Rousseau. Might have had a little bit of a chance there. That one took a odd hop off the backstop, and Rousseau had to chase it down, but the Bulldogs weren't taking any chances to see if they could get Whiteside in on that one. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count, though. So Ike has to protect now. Pitch on the way. Not going to get him to swing at that one. A little low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch from Durham. Called strike 3. That'll retire the sides and get him looking. And the Lumberjacks will get the 7-0 win in league play over the Bulldogs here this afternoon. We'll take a quick break, take a quick look at a few stats, and then we'll give you our Talk About It player of the game as well when we return.
Tax time is here again. I know. It's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care. So you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau Insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life, plus they have service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories, like Brett on the way to his wedding when a flat tire left him stranded. The clock was ticking, his bride waiting. He made one call, and a Les Schwab service truck was there to save the day. Brett was back on the road and off to say, I do. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires, our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those lumberjacks.
And we are back. St. Mary's comes away with the nice Central Idaho League win, 7-0 over the Bulldogs here in some baseball action. The Bulldogs had no runs on 3 hits, 5 errors, and 6 left on base. The Lumberjacks had 7 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base. St. Mary's had 2 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the third, 3 runs in the fifth, and the little insurance run there in the bottom of the sixth to give them their 7-run advantage. Batting wise, St. Mary's, the bats didn't really come to live a lot. They only batted 136 in this one. Daniel Jensen, I have is batting 500. Cody Mitchell at 500. Sawyer Nantel at 333. I think they were the only 3 Lumberjacks to get hits in the afternoon. St. Mary's had 3 walks, 5 hit by pitches, 6 stolen bases in the matchup. Fielding, St. Mary's was 920 on their fielding percentage. They had just a couple of errors, 21 putouts though, 2 assists. So pretty good outing defensively. The story to me really is going to be the pitcher, Will Durham Sr. He pitched all 7 innings today, faced 27 batters. He's had 73 strikes, 30 balls thrown in the day, very efficient, no runs, had 17 strikeouts on the afternoon. 17 strikeouts out of 27 batters. 13 caught swinging and 4 caught looking, no walks, and it did have 2 hit by pitches, but still a very efficient afternoon for the senior pitcher, William Durham. Very impressed with his outing today, and he will be our Talk About It player of the game for this matchup. Don't forget, JV going to be playing here in a little bit, so if you're not doing nothing, come on out and cheer on the JV baseball players. But this is where we're going to end our broadcast, but we will have a doubleheader tomorrow as the Lumberjacks will be taking on the Wildcats in a doubleheader here at Potlatch Deltic Fields. First game is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you can, come on out and cheer them on. If you can't, we'll have the game, of course, on KOFE AM 1240 on your radio. We'll also have it on our YouTube audio stream. And we should, hopefully, if we have everything working okay, have it on Sideline HD on our Facebook page. So a couple of different ways to catch the action. But that's going to do it for us here from Potlatch Deltic Fields.
You've been listening to another production of Lumberjack Sports on KOFE 1240 St. Mary's, your Lumberjack Sports Network. We thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We also want to thank our Lumberjack Sports broadcast sponsors and hope you'll do the same. Without them, these broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Until next time, same as always, go Lumberjack!